been a long wait, but finally it's here. Welcome everyone to the Qualifiers for Mid Pursuit Party Season 2, where 12 teams, along with 4 new teams, will be battling for 12 spots in the mailing to join the Doorknobs, Swirly Pops, Fly Attacks, and Veins of Valiance as the top 4 from last season for Season 2. As we head into the first event, the Team Drag, obviously there will be 4 events. Team Drag, a brand new event. As you would guess, all 4 members roll down, try to drag as far as possible. The furthest marble will count for your score, so you can have some stragglers, but you gotta have at least 1 marble. That makes it really far. As we have our first run, the Crown Collapse, a very solid 5th place finish last season. Only barely missed out on all qualification. Let's see what they can do, and it looks pretty decent by that top marble. Okay, it's more of a strategy. They'll let the bottom marbles go at first to really test the waters, but they went out less far. 44.2 ends up being the score. That seems pretty solid off of that alone. Trident Hunters now, another team that did solidly last season. They finished 6th, and that looks pretty solid. All 4 of them roughly equally far. The bottom one made it the first, so that score will count. 44.5 barely pushed them out of the Crown Clap. Another very solid score there. Tectonic Shifters now get another team that did solidly last season. They finished 7th, and they will have. It doesn't look as good. That marble in the second lane does make it the furthest, but it leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah, 42.6 is a little ways behind the first 2. The Turning Taxis now, our final team to finish top half last season. They finished in 8th. Pretty decent season there. And they will have 3 marbles, making it relatively decent, but nothing too good. Okay, you won 1 marble to make it really far, rather than everyone making it decently fine. It's 42.4, and that's just barely worse than the Tectonic Shifters. Nemesis Neons now. He's in 9th last season, but very consistent. Only team to not finish bottom 4 all season. And they will have a very nice run looking here. The second marble, the first marble testing the watch, but they made it less by second marble though, making it forward, and at 44.8 puts the Nemesis Neons in the lead. Looking to be a very nice score there. Present Paradise up now, the inconsistent season as opposed to Nemesis Neons, but they did get to 10th in the end, and this is not looking too bad here. The bottom marble will make it the furthest. Okay, relatively consistent between all of them. 42.7 so far in 4th out of 6. The Azora Army now, facing 11th last season, clutched out a medal in the last event to prevent them from finishing medalists, and they will have 2 marbles going roughly the same distance, and it doesn't look too bad here for the Armor. 44.3, that's very solid actually. That puts them in 3rd. Solid run. Morning Mealtime now, team with a mediocre season, finishing 12th. Just 1 silver to speak of, and they will have another fairly consistent run. No member that makes it up too far. Let's see how this stack of 43.9. It's still a fairly solid score. That puts them in the middle of the pack. Now the Chartreuse Sellers, team that had a disappointing season. Only 13th. They wanted to get better, and it looks like they have done it here. A very nice run here. Second marble, just letting nothing go in their way. Letting the team members paint out the route for them, and at 45.4 puts the Chartreuse Sellers in the lead. Very nice score there. Kelp Crashers now. Team that got 14th, they ended up being the only team with no medals. And this looks like at least a lot to be desired. Kelp Crash just barely escaped last at the 11th hour last season. And 41.5, that is not good. That is provisional last. A lot to work on there, but luckily there are still 3 events left. Paris Pancakes now. They ended up finishing in 15th, despite 2 medals. Lots of poor finishes. They just weren't able to get there. And one of the marbles goes easily far. It looks to be nothing more than just okay. 42.7 isn't too bad of a run, but they only beat 4 teams for the time being. The Firefighters now, they finished in deadless. They really got up to do better since, well, they frankly cannot do any worse than they did last season, and it is already looking pretty decent. Second marble makes it the furthest, and the 43.5, the second marble being the first, seems like the way to go. Puts them in 7th. Not too awful from the Firefighters. Now, heading on to the news, the Ballistic Bottles, the first new team with them in their clear uniforms. And looking not too bad here. A little bit hard to see their uniforms against the gray background, but a 44 flat puts them in 6th. Not bad. The Fantastics up now. in their white cat's eyes. The Fantastics hoping to make a mark here, and doesn't look too great. I think this will be nothing more than just the middle of the pack, and that's exactly what it is. 10th for now, 42.9. There's 2 teams left to go. Next up, the Trailblazers, the first orange team in Mid's Pursuit Party. Let's see what they can do, if they can even qualify. And that's a relatively consistent run between the top few. And I don't think it'll be any more than just a mid-pack. 9th, 43.4, not awful. As here we have the final new team now, Team Submarine. See what they can bring to the table, the first team in Mid's Pursuit Party. But it doesn't look too promising here. Just a few more getting out pretty decent, but again, that's not really the way to go in this event. Now 41.8, that's second to last. Poor start for Team Submarine, but they have time to come back as the Chartreuse Sellers win the first event, followed by the Nemesis Neons and the Trident Hunters. A good start for them in these qualifiers. So hopefully the standings will reflect this. See, the points on the top aren't as big as they are in the main league to reward more consistent performances in those qualifiers. As obviously only the bottom 4 goes out, anything can still happen. As we enter the second event, the obstacle race. This is 4 heats of 4, and the best time simply advances. It's only about time, no advancement in this one. Crown Collab, Morning Meal Time, Charger Sellers, and Team Submarine are in the first heat, and they're off. Team Submarine sees to take the early lead, but the Crown Collab get right by, and the Morning Meal Time try to get by Team Submarine as well, but they don't. And the Chartreuse Sellers, after winning the first event, they will get stuck. They are not able to follow up the success. DNF seem to be pretty prominent on this because the conditions aren't too optimal. See very slow speeds down at the bottom. The Crown Collab will win it, with Art, one of the best models from last season, followed by Vessel, Team Submarine. Now Trident Hunters, Azure Army, Calcrashers, and the Trailblazers in this next heat. And it's the Trailblazers who ran out to the early lead, but the Calcrashers coming right in. You see that you wouldn't necessarily expect to do well, but they will finish, and the other two will not. No finishing for the Trident and the Azure Army. Again, 2 teams that did very well in the first event, not being able to follow it up, but a good time seemingly for the Calcrashers. They needed after finishing last in the first event, and a 5.7 puts Norian first, and Engine also goes in the second. Now Tectonic Shifters, Present Paradise, Perilous Pancakes, and Fantastics in the third heat. And the Perilous Pancakes already get stuck as the Tectonic Shifters out in front. They're doing very well so far. They will finish, and the Present Paradise gets stuck there. They get freed by the Fantastics. Disaster right there at the end, but what a time for the Tectonic Shifters. They just breeze through, not letting the slow speeds get to them, but the Present Paradise, they get stuck there. Fantastics are able to free them. See, this first for the Tectonic Shifters, 6th and 7th, mid-pack for the other two, and the Paris Pancakes sliding to last. Final lead now, Turning Taxis, Nemesis Neons, Firefighters, and Ballistic Bottles. Turning Taxis take the early lead, only to get stuck. The Nemesis Neons will take it now. They'll take the win. Ballistic Bottles and Firefighters right behind. Very close between those two. Nemesis Neons take the lead after doing well in event 1. They're looking good for these qualifiers. Ballistic Bottles and Firefighters. And the Nemesis Neons go into second. Their second place finish in a row. Ballistic Bottles and Firefighters also a solid showing. Turn Taxis fall all the way to 30s. That's 5 DNFs in this event. This course taking no prisoners with them. Good job to the Tectonic Shifters though. They were in the field of qualifiers, but they jumped 10 spots all the way up in the third. Nemesis Neons holding a comfortable lead. Calcrashers also jumping 7 spots. It's the Present Paradise, Team Submarine, Perilous Pancakes, and Turning Taxis currently in the drop zone. So we have block pushing, very straightforward event, but it hasn't been seen before in Mid's Pursuit Party. As we have our first heat, Turning Taxis, Azure Army, Calcrashers, and Ballistic Bottles. A few of those teams really need it, as the Turning Taxis will get the best push this time in the first heat. There will be 2 heats for every heat, and the best run is the only one that will count. As invalid runs seem to be pretty prominent. Of course, at a 39.6 on the first run for the Turning Taxis. As we head on to the second run now, and the Turning Taxis again will have the best push, but it doesn't seem too great. Maybe a little bit better than the first. The Ballistic Bottles also doing decent. No invalid runs in this first heat. And it looks like, everyone except the Calcrashers managed to improve. 40.6 is the Turning Taxis in first for now. Tectonic Shifters, Present Paradise, Charter Sellers, Team Submarine for a second heat. And we have 2 invalid runs here. Present Paradise and Chartreuse Sellers. They'll be able to get it on the block. Tectonic Shifters will have a solid one. Submarine not too bad a push either. 37.7 and 34.4. Till they will stack up. Against 2 invalid runs, Chartreuse Sellers and Present Paradise. They need to get a valid push now. or else they will just have 2 invalid runs, which is not good. And the Chargers themselves will do very well. Present Paradise also managed to cancel out their invalid run. Team Submarine, they will get an invalid run, so they won't improve, but everyone else did 47.8. Very nice run. 44.5, also very nice. Present Paradise, not too bad either. Trident Hunters, Nemesis Neons, Firefighters, and Railblazers in the third heat. And it's, the Trident Hunters flipped the block sideways. I'm not sure that's going to count. Nemesis Neons and Firefighters especially doing very well. Railblazers were going to count, and the Trident Hunters aren't going to count. 47.5 is a very nice push though from the Firefighters. They're trying to get back in the main league, even after that 16th. Going to the second heat. And the Railblazers, they do the same thing as the Trident Hunters, but a very nice push for the Trident Hunters themselves. Railblazers, absolute disaster for them in this event. They will have 2 invalid runs. Firefighters also invalid, but the first push was very good. The Trident Hunters will take the lead. 48.4, Firefighters also go to third. Nemesis Neons in fifth. Trident Hunters doing very well in this event. Grand Collab, Morning Mealtime, Brown Springs, and Fantastics with the final runs, and the Morning Mealtime, they also do that same thing. It doesn't work out very well though. The other 3 teams with pretty similarly solid pushes. The Fantastics will do the best between them. 40.4. There's the Brown Springs, and then the Crayon Collab. Morning Mealtime, they need to have a valid push on the second run. Let's see what they can do. And they will have a valid push, and a very good one at that. Crayon Collab, they will get invalid, so they won't get any better than the first run. Let's see about the other 2 teams. And the Morning Mealtime, the only team to improve, but they will have a 46.6. That does put them all the way in 4th. Trident Hunters will win this event, followed by the Chargers Sellers and Firefighters. These top 2 have both gotten 2 medals now. The Railblazers at the bottom, 2 invalid runs, a disaster. And as a result, the Nemesis Neons, Chargers Sellers, and Trident Hunters, all with 2 medals, they've all guaranteed their qualification. They don't need to try in the final event, but the Qualifiers, Turning Taxis, Perils Banks, and Team Submarine, they really do. They're sitting down there at the bottom. It's the final endeavors now. We're just going to get straight into it. 2 heats of 8. Best time wins. This needs no explanation. Just whoever stays in the longest will win. And down we go for this first heat. This is cruise. This is the make or break point. This could decide whether you're in the main league or not. Turning Taxis are the first to draw through, and that's not good for a team already in the danger zone. As the Firefighters take the early lead. Firefighters are already sitting solidly up there. Even just a moderately good finish here with close qualifiers for them. The same thing can be said about Morning Mealtime and the Ballistic Bottles, who are also doing well right now. But the Crayon Collab, they were sitting in the mid-pack. They don't need a great finish, but it wouldn't help if they did really poorly here. Firefighters are also dropping way back. Nemesis Neons, this is just basically a write-off race for them. They've already qualified. The same thing goes to the Chargers Cells, as the Turn Taxis have recovered tremendously up in the 4th. Team Submarine in 3rd. They also really need to try out. They're currently sitting in last. Crayon Collab and Firefighters. Firefighters have fallen to last, and I don't think they need to try super hard. But there will be some circumstances where they could miss out if they finish less than they do. Crayon Collab in 2nd to last, also not great there. The next 2 teams, they've already qualified, but this top 4 really in a brawl. They get stuck there, a lockjam. But they will get released here, but this final order could mean really anything. Morning Mealtime and Ballistic Bombs, they don't need to worry that much, but this Team Submarine and the Turning Taxis, they will go 2nd and 3rd. Morning Mealtime will win this race. I think that should all but guarantee that they qualify, but Turning Taxis, this 2nd place is big for them, so as it is for Team Submarine as well. Ballistic Bombs are 4th, I think they should have done enough as well, as they go into the 2nd heat with the other 8 teams. Let's see what they're able to do, and off they go. As they're off, who will be one to drop in first? It will be the Trident Hunters. Trident Hunters are also qualified already. They don't need to try, but the Fantastics will take the early lead. Fantastic currently sitting in the middle of the pack. Good finish would do wonders for the qualifying aspirations, but it's near the bottom. See the Azure Army, Present Paradise, and Railblazers. All 3 of those teams, they aren't quite in the drop zone, but they are very close to it, and they don't want to miss out just by having a poor finish here. Prospects, they are in the field of qualify zone. They do poorly here. They're certainly not going to make it. Kelp Crashers doing pretty well. Right now, Kelp Crashers, they are also in that field of qualify zone, but a good finish here would do wonders. Titan Shifters in 2nd, Titan Shifters are nearly guaranteed. I think if they just don't get last, they should be fine, as it's the Railblazers there. Still in last, Railblazers, they really don't want just to cost the qualifying rounds. I think they were in like 10th or 9th before this, but they're already down to the final followed by the Trident Hunters. They've already qualified, as the Present Paradise are also down there. So the Railblazers will finish in last. That's not good for them. Same for the Present Paradise or the Azure Army. Trident Hunters in 5th, a right of race for them. They've already qualified. Perils Pancakes, not sure if they will do enough. They're in 4th, but it's a good race for the Qualifiers and the Fantastics, and I think the Fantastics should be qualified with this. Qualifiers, the same thing can be said about them. See, they go 1 and 2. I think that clinches the Fantastics qualification. Qualifiers have also done good enough, I reckon, to come here today as well. But the other teams really have the fortune up to be decided. As you see, the Turn Taxi 4th, is that good enough? Same with Team Submarine or the Palace Pancakes. They were all the bottom 3 before this. Then the 10th, 11th, and 12th, they were also not good, but let's see the podium for the qualifier. Nemesis, Neons, Tectonic Shifters, and Charge Cells, well done, 3 teams. Qualified comfortably for C2, but who will be with them and who will be the 40s to miss out? It's the Azure Army, Present Paradise, Team Submarine, and the Palace Pancakes. Heartbreak for them. They haven't done good enough. Let's look at how close it was. All of them within 3 points. Azure Army, Present Paradise, they only missed out by 1. Heartbreak there. Team Submarine, only new team to miss out. The good finish wasn't enough. Same thing for the Palace Pancakes. Well, even though they got last, they didn't actually do terrible. But congratulations to all of the other teams. They have qualified for Miss Pursuit Party Season 2. As there you see the logos of the qualified teams up there. It ended up being a very close qualifier. So many near misses, heartbreaks, but also new faces to show for it in the main league. Congratulations to all the new teams. And we will see you for the main league results. Thank you for watching and keep on spinning.